Could there be a way forward to break the deadlock over Māori water rights? Some iwi leaders are backing a proposal that would see major iwi stop plans to take court action over Māori water rights. Iwi leader Willie Te Aho is pushing a deal to double the government's funding for Māori land to $200 million. In exchange, iwi chairs will promise not to take a water rights case to the court for the next 5 years. Our Māori News correspondent Leigh-Marama McLachlan reports.
The ocean continues to lap at the shores of Waitangi, but Māori water rights remain a stagnant issue. Now, Te Aitanga Amahaki leader Willie Te Aho is proposing a way forward. This afternoon, he laid it on the table at the Iwi Land and Māori Asset Symposium at Waitangi.
So we've put up that proposal. We're basically saying lift the whenua Māori to 200 million, continue the budgets and investment in the areas of workforce development, connectivity and also papakainga. And if you do that, then we're prepared to have a 5-year discussion around rights and interests. And with the, compromise being that we don't take legal action.
The renewed push for legal action came in August last year. The Waitangi Tribunal released its report urging the government to recognise Māori proprietary rights and allocate them water. It went on to suggest taking a case to court to get a definitive answer on Māori water rights. But Mr Te Aho says for now, there is another way. On Sunday, a major provincial growth fund announcement was made. He secured $10.5 million to develop an irrigation scheme in Raukokore to ultimately supply water to 320 hectares. Mr Te Aho says more funding to develop the land trumps court action right now.
Because when you've got the ability to take water to irrigate your lands, to be honest, it becomes less of a debate around ownership because you're already delivering the water to your lands. So in an area like mine in Raukokore, we don't debate who owns the water, we own the water. Our challenge is how do we get it to our lands, and that's where the government has stepped up through the Provincial Growth Fund.
The 30 or so people at today's symposium supported the idea. Most Māori land is considered underdeveloped or underused, but landowners need water to develop it. Ngāti Tūparetua leader John Bashara says it's an economic opportunity that can get progress underway now. And Ngāti Kahungunu Iwi Chair Ngahiwi Tomoana agrees.
There's a lot of landlocked land that doesn't have water, and we need to look at storage and access of water for them. And so this is a sort of hybrid model of ownership, but in the meantime, act as if we own it, and let's get government resources to access that water for these communities that will add value to the economic GDP of this country, to the regions, employment, and so on and so forth, which has been denied up to now.
But there is no guarantee that the deal would mean no court action altogether. A Bay of Plenty kaumātua, Manu Paul, is already drafting a case for the High Court after the tribunal's call. This promise to keep out of court would only apply to the 70 iwi chairs at this year's forum in Waitangi. The Regional Economic Development Minister Shane Jones appeared open to the idea.
Let's face it, I am a pro-industry, pro-economic minister working in the regions where all of our Māori land is. And it is different, but it's most certainly an improvement on spending the next Lord knows how long in litigation. That doesn't fill me with joy at all.
The potential deal will be put forward to the other iwi chairs tomorrow. If they're keen to compromise too, then a formal proposal will go to Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern. But there's cautious optimism over how far it will get. Iwi leaders say they don't have the same influence under this government, and some feel like they're merely a networking event now. In Waitangi, mo te hōtaka o te ahiahi pō, ko Leigh-Marama McLachlan tēnei.